Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to Stormworks, and today I've got something a little different for you. This is just a little attack popper that I've been working on in the background, a little attack helicopter. And as you can see, it's loosely based off of the H1Z, but not exactly, not a one-to-one. This is just kind of my version of it. And this is just one of my favorite helicopters, so I kind of wanted to make something like this. I don't really ever do like complete recreations, but yeah, I've just kind of got some footage of me and Hot Dog 1, affectionately his call sign, Nuclear Atomic in front of us, and me and him we're just gonna go hunt some bad guys. But yeah, we'll get into some of the details of the helicopter in a few moments. I will kind of go over some of the controls with you guys, so it's a little bit easier to control. But in a general rule of thumb, everything is pretty much labeled, and it's really pretty simple to use if you know how a lot of these systems should work. So there's only one button to turn it on and off, but as you can see, we're going to get into trouble real quick. We're going to smoke that helicopter, and let's get out of here real quick. But yeah, so anyways, we will get into a little bit more about the controls in just a moment. So let's walk around this real quick. There is an equipment bay right here, a little bit of extra ammo, health stuff. 2 seats right there, just because why not add the space? Kind of funny. You can put your ground crew in there, and I'm gonna grab this transponder. We're just gonna drop it, and we will kind of show that off in 1 second. But let me just drop this real quick, and I'll close these doors up. But we'll get into this seat. This is the pilot's. Those are the lights. That is the transponder. So you can see it's blinking pretty quick. We're pretty close. Turn it off. Pretty simple heads-up displays, got a lot of your info in it. The screen right there, AH, that would be your gyro, so that's your indicator for your gyro. This is for your virtual waypoint. If you want to turn that on, you go over to here. This is the data screen. Not really too much to talk about here, just data. And turn that on, and then you can see we have a virtual waypoint. That is our RWR and auto chaff. Same thing, it'll work, it'll turn off the radar detector basically. So if you have something that's going to detect it while it's parked, it'll turn it off. But this is the gunners, so you can see the turret is slave to his look while he's looking, and this will tell the pilot. Gunner has control. There is controls for both pilots, so he has a button down there, right there, and that will give him control. Both have fire selectors, and you can see you look anywhere, the gun will follow it, and then when you're in that camera in the viewing scope, the gun will also follow that. So the gun will be a little wonky on low physics, of course. If you turn it to high, it'll be a lot more accurate. That's just kind of the nature of the game. Not really too much to do there, but you know, it is what it is. But anyways, that is really the bulk of the controls. There's a fire selector. You can see we've got a few weapons here. Don't get blinded. But the outermost one is radar guided, and then the inner 2 are laser. And you can see the laser there is the blue line. So that's kind of our fire selector there on the left with the blue line. And as you'll cycle through there, blue is laser, green is radar, and yellow is rocket. So let's take this thing off real quick. And let me get rid of some of this fog so you guys can see a little bit better. And we'll just give it a little bit of collective. And it's got an auto hover. It's very crude, guys. It's not a very sophisticated helicopter. There's no autopilot. The auto hover barely works, but it's fun. It's really easy to fly. I encourage you to fly it without the gyro on. It is a tilt rotor. I didn't really talk about that. It is a tilt rotor, but yeah, we're just firing off some missiles. You guys can see those were the laser guided ones, and yeah, that's pretty much about it for as far as the controls go. It's really not too complicated to fly. You should be able to fly it with one person. I don't recommend it, honestly. It's a lot easier with 2, but yeah, we'll give it a little splashdown real quick and get out of here. But anyways, if you are upset there's no build series, guys, I'm sorry. I don't really want to do them for like these kind of builds, mostly because this is just microcontroller work. And then it's going to be like 2 episodes, and then also like 40 hours of me in the background. But it is a really fun helicopter. It should be relatively easy for you to use. It's pretty cheap, and it's pretty fuel efficient. I mean, it's not crazy cheap. You guys know how I build, but comparatively to how I normally build, it's pretty cheap. I don't know the exact number off the top of my head, but it does have a really, really good range as well. But anyways, I've just got a little bit more B-roll in the background here. We've got nuclear taken off on the top of a deck, and I'm just going to turn some lights on real quick. But it's nighttime, and you guys can see it's pretty hard to see this thing when it's dark out. There's not really a whole lot of lights going on, which I might go back and maybe add some like landing lights later, but I don't know. I'm okay with it being a little bit simpler in regards to that. I don't really need a lot of details. I want it to be more kind of refined when you fly it. If you fly it, like I said, I encourage you to try it without the gyro on. It's really fun. You could do backflips, you could do barrel rolls, you could do all sorts of goofy stuff. So I encourage you to fly it that way. Really, it does feel like a fun little attack helicopter. But other than that, it's it's just really the only complexity of the aircraft is the control system between the seats. The rest of it is pretty bare bones, and I wanted it to stay that way, and it kind of needed to be that way because it's pretty small. But yeah, guys, one last thing is I didn't really make the missiles on these. I can't take credit for that, so thank my mod Bird. He made the missiles on this thing, and you're more than welcome to kind of change them out for whatever you want. It doesn't have EHCS or anything like that, so just put on whatever hard points you want, and the fire selector is just hooked up to the hard point, so it'll just fire whatever one you want. You can recolor the indicator if you want to. But yeah, guys, this is my attack helicopter, so I hope you guys like it. I really had a fun time enjoying or building this, and I personally think that it's very, very fun to fly, and it's probably one of my more favorite creations recently. So check it out. If you guys got any questions, probably better to ask in the Discord. It does take a little bit of common sense to use this. Please keep that in mind. I did label everything too, so a reading goes quite a long way. But anyways, guys, thank you for checking this build out. I'll catch you guys all in the next episode. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day.